everyone, welcome to another deep dive with us.
Hi, everybody.
And today we're tackling something that's probably on your mind a lot after a divorce or, losing a spouse,
Mm-hmm.
finances.
Yeah.
It can feel overwhelming to deal with budgets and bills when you're going through so much already.
Right.
But taking control of your finances can be really empowering.
For sure.
It's like finding solid ground after a major earthquake.
I love that analogy.
So that's why we're diving into this guide today.
Okay.
Basic financial management for recently divorced or widowed women. And hopefully this deep dive will help give you guys some actionable steps to take
Awesome.
to start taking control.
It's a great resource.
Yeah.
It really is.
So let's jump right in.
Okay.
Where do we even begin?
Well, it's funny. We often think about finances as just these cold, hard numbers.
Yeah.
But this guide really emphasizes that it's about so much more than that.
Okay.
It's about, building a sense of security and taking charge of your future.
I love that. Okay, so let's get practical then.
Okay.
Where does this guide say we should even begin?
Well, like any good journey, you need a map.
Uh-huh.
So that's where budgeting comes in.
Okay.
And this guide uses a really interesting approach called the 50-30-20 rule.
Okay.
Imagine you're suddenly, managing on a single income, maybe for the first time.
Right.
This rule helps you visualize where your money needs to go.
Okay.
50% on necessities like housing and food and transportation.
Okay.
30% on the things you want,
All right.
entertainment and dining out and travel.
Yeah.
And then that last 20%
Okay.
towards savings and paying off any debts you might have.
Okay, that's actually a really good breakdown.
It's simple, but it's effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I struggle with credit card debt,
Oh, yeah.
especially after my divorce.
Yeah, it's really common.
Does this guide offer any tips for that specifically?
It does, actually.
Okay.
It encourages using cash or a debit card for your everyday spending. Think of it this way. When you see those bills physically leaving your hand,
Yeah.
it makes you think twice
Mm.
before, impulsively buying that extra latte or online shopping spree.
I can see that.
All right.
I can see that. But using only cash seems pretty tough in today's world.
Yeah.
Like, how practical is that advice, really?
It's definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, the guide isn't saying ditch your credit cards entirely,
Okay.
but becoming more aware is a good first step.
Okay.
So maybe start small.
Okay.
Try a cash-only week,
Yeah.
Just for groceries or entertainment.
That's doable.
And you might be surprised how it impacts your spending habits.
Okay, that's a good starting point.
Yeah.
What about savings, though? I know it's important.
Yeah,
Honestly, with everything going on, it feels kind of overwhelming.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But the guide really emphasizes building this safety net,
Okay.
an emergency fund.
Okay.
You want to aim for about 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses
3 to 6 months.
tucked away.
Tucked away.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know it sounds daunting,
It does.
but think of it like this.
Okay.
What if a pipe bursts in your house
Okay.
or you have an unexpected medical bill?
Yeah.
That emergency fund is there to catch you.
Nice.
It can prevent you from going into debt
Okay.
when something unexpected happens.
So it's like a buffer.
Exactly.
Right.
It's peace of mind.
I like that.
Yeah.
Peace of mind. Okay, so emergency fund, check.
Gotcha.
But what about the future?
Mhm.
Retirement, kids' college, all that. It seems so far off right now.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
We're talking about investing.
Ooh, that word.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. It sounds a little intimidating.
Yeah, especially if you're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Like you said, it seems far off.
Yeah, and it makes me think of Wall Street guys in fancy suits.
Right.
Not exactly relatable,
not at all.
but it doesn't have to be that complicated, right?
Right. This guide emphasizes starting small and being consistent.
It mentions this concept called dollar cost averaging.
Dollar cost averaging.
Have you heard of that?
I have not.
Okay, so basically it means investing a set amount of money regularly,
Okay.
regardless of what the market's doing.
Oh, interesting. So like setting up a recurring payment
Exactly.
into an investment account?
Yes.
Okay.
That way you're buying more shares when the prices are low and fewer when they're high.
I see.
So it kind of helps you ride out those market fluctuations.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how you do it consistently. But what about choosing where to invest?
Right.
Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, like what?
Well, the guide really emphasizes the importance of diversification.
Okay.
You know that old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, makes sense.
So spreading things around feels safer, right?
Definitely.
Like think of building a house.
Okay.
You need a strong foundation made of different materials
Yeah.
so it can withstand any storm.
Okay.
Well, diversifying your investments is similar. It helps you weather those market changes.
Okay, so not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Spreading it out.
And the guide suggests something called index funds
Index funds.
as a good starting point.
Okay.
Have you heard of those?
That's a new one for me.
Okay, so imagine trying to pick individual stocks.
Okay.
It's kind of like trying to pick individual ingredients for a really complex recipe.
Okay.
An index fund is like having a pre-made meal kit.
Okay.
It includes a bunch of different stocks or bonds or other assets,
Okay.
already bundled together in a diversified way.
So instead of trying to be like a master stock picker,
Yeah,
you're basically investing in a whole bunch of companies at once.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a way to simplify investing and get exposure to a broad market
Okay.
without needing to be an expert yourself.
That is reassuring, honestly.
Yeah.
Knowing that I don't have to become like a Wall Street guru
Right?
to make smart investments.
Exactly.
Phew, that's a huge relief.
Yeah.
So if someone is feeling overwhelmed,
How do they even begin with this whole index fund thing?
well, the guide actually mentions something called robo-advisors.
Robo-advisors.
Have you heard of those?
Vaguely.
Okay, so think of them as your personal investment assistants.
Oh.
You tell them your goals, your risk tolerance,
Okay.
and they actually create and manage a diversified portfolio for you
Wow.
automatically.
That sounds really helpful.
It can be, especially for those who are new to investing
Okay.
or, just don't have the time or the desire to manage it all themselves.
Yeah.
It takes the guesswork out of it.
So it makes investing accessible to everyone.
Exactly.
Okay, that's great. This is all incredibly helpful so far.
Good.
We've covered, budgeting,
Mm-hmm.
creating an emergency fund,
Mhm.
and kind of dipping our toes into this world of investing.
Yeah,
But what about the emotional side of all of this?
right.
Money can be such a huge source of stress,
For sure.
especially after, going through a major life change.
Absolutely.
So how do we even begin to address that?
Well, the guide acknowledges that emotional spending is a real thing
Oh, yeah.
and something that we all struggle with from time to time.
Totally. I mean, who hasn't bought something they didn't need
Right.
just to feel better in the moment?
Exactly. And it's even more common, when we're going through tough times.
Yeah, for sure.
So the guide emphasizes the importance of mindful spending.
Mindful spending.
It's about pausing before you buy something
Okay.
and asking yourself 3 key questions.
Okay. I like this. Lay it on me.
All right, so question number 1, do I need this or do I just want it?
Okay.
Number 2, can I afford this without hurting my budget?
Uh-huh.
And number 3, will this purchase bring me long-term value or just fleeting happiness?
Those are really great questions to ask. It's
Yeah.
like hitting the pause button before making a purchase.
Exactly. It's about being intentional with your money,
Yeah.
making choices that align with your values and your goals.
This is all starting to feel more manageable, It's
Yep.
like we're building a toolbox,
I like that.
one step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time.
But I have to ask,
Okay.
what about those big scary things?
Right.
Like life insurance and estate planning.
Yeah.
I know they're important, but just thinking about them,
Gives you a headache.
a little bit.
Yeah, I understand.
So how do we even begin to approach those?
Well, think of life insurance as a safety net for your loved ones.
Okay.
If something were to happen to you,
Yeah.
it can help cover expenses like funeral costs, outstanding debts, or even replace lost income.
Okay.
So it's about protecting those you care about the most.
That makes sense, but how much life insurance does someone actually need?
It's a good question.
Yeah, it seems like such a mystery.
It is, and the amount varies depending on your individual circumstances,
Yeah.
your income, your debts,
Yeah.
number of dependents, and future expenses like, your children's education.
So it's about assessing your specific situation
Yeah.
and figuring out what level of coverage would provide adequate protection.
Exactly.
Okay, and what about estate planning then?
Well, when it comes to estate planning, it's really about getting your affairs in order.
Okay.
Think of it like creating a roadmap for your loved ones.
Uh-huh.
You're outlining your wishes and making sure things are handled according to your plan,
Okay.
even if you're not there to oversee it.
So it's about creating a sense of order
Yes,
and peace of mind
exactly.
for both yourself and your loved ones.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be complicated.
Okay.
It involves things like creating a will,
Mm-hmm.
establishing a power of attorney,
Okay.
designating beneficiaries for your assets.
Okay, that's a good starting point.
Yeah,
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive so far.
we have.
From budgeting and emergency funds to investing and even dipping our toes into life insurance and estate planning.
And we've only just begun.
I know, right? There's so much to learn and explore,
It is.
but I'm already feeling more empowered and less overwhelmed.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Awesome. So much more to unpack here.
Definitely.
We'll continue this deep dive after a quick break. Okay, so we've talked about building this solid financial foundation,
Yeah,
but what about tackling existing debt?
right.
I know that's a huge weight for a lot of people,
It is.
especially, after a divorce or loss.
Yeah, debt can feel like this giant monster lurking in the shadows.
It really can.
But like any monster,
Uh,
the best way to defeat it
huh.
is to face it head on.
Okay, so how do we do that?
This guide doesn't sugarcoat things.
Okay.
Ignoring debt won't make it disappear.
Right.
In fact, it can quickly spiral out of control.
So if you're feeling buried under a mountain of bills, what are some practical first steps?
Well, the guide recommends taking a deep breath and getting organized.
Okay.
Make a list of all your debts.
Okay.
Credit cards, loans,
Yeah.
everything.
Got it.
Note down the balances, the interest rates, the minimum payments.
Okay.
It's like taking inventory before you start cleaning a really messy room.
Okay, that makes sense. You
Yeah.
can't tackle what you can't see. But what if those interest rates are scary high? I've heard about things like debt consolidation, but it all sounds a bit confusing.
It can be, and that's where seeking guidance from a credit counselor can be incredibly helpful.
Okay.
It can help you understand your options and create a personalized plan.
Okay, so what kinds of things might they suggest?
Well, for example, they might suggest consolidating high-interest debt into a lower-interest loan,
Okay.
or even negotiating with creditors to reduce your payments.
Negotiating with creditors, can you actually do that?
Absolutely, especially after a major life change, like a divorce.
Okay.
Creditors are often willing to work with you
Really?
to create a more manageable payment plan.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So it's about taking action, seeking help when needed,
Mm-hmm.
and chipping away at that debt strategically.
Exactly.
But, finances aren't just about numbers and spreadsheets.
Right.
There's a huge emotional component, too.
100%. And this guide actually emphasizes the importance of building a support network.
A support network. I usually think of that as people to call when you need a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah,
Not necessarily for financial advice.
that's true. But your support network can play a huge role in your financial well-being, too.
Okay, how so?
It's about having people who understand what you're going through,
Mm-hmm.
who can offer encouragement, practical tips, or even just a listening ear when you're feeling overwhelmed.
Okay, so this could include friends, family members,
Yeah.
therapists, even financial advisors.
Exactly. And don't forget about the power of support groups.
Oh,
Connecting with others who are going through similar experiences,
yeah.
it can be incredibly validating and empowering.
That's a great point. It's easy to feel isolated and alone when you're
Mhm.
struggling financially,
Right.
but knowing that others have walked a similar path
Yeah,
can be so reassuring.
absolutely.
Speaking of feeling overwhelmed,
Okay.
I know I often forget to take care of myself when I'm stressed about money.
I hear you. And this guide actually touches on that.
Okay.
The importance of self-care.
Okay.
You can't pour from an empty cup, as they say.
That's so true.
When you're feeling stressed and depleted,
Yeah.
it's harder to make those sound financial decisions.
Okay, so what are some self-care practices that can actually help with financial well-being?
Okay, well, in this context, self-care is really anything that helps you relax, recharge, and gain clarity.
Okay.
So it could be exercise, spending time in nature, reading a good book, or even just taking a few minutes to meditate or practice deep breathing.
Okay, so it's about finding those activities that nourish your mind, body, and soul,
Exactly.
and making them a priority even when life feels chaotic.
Yes, because when you take care of yourself, you're better equipped to handle challenges and make clear-headed decisions,
Okay.
including financial ones.
This is all starting to paint a picture of a more holistic approach to finances. It's not just about numbers,
Right.
but also about mindset,
Yeah.
support, and taking care of yourself.
Exactly. It's all connected.
I like that. And speaking of tools, we can't forget about the role technology can play in managing finances.
Right?
You mean like those budgeting apps I've heard about?
Exactly. There are some fantastic apps and online tools out there
Okay.
that can help you track spending, create a budget, monitor investments, and even get personalized financial advice.
So it's like having a financial assistant right in your pocket.
Exactly. Think about it. You probably already use apps to manage your calendar, your to-do list, your social life.
Uh-huh.
Why not use them to manage your finances too?
That's a great point. Are there any specific apps that you recommend?
There are tons for budgeting apps like Mint or YApp are really popular choices.
Okay.
They can connect to your bank accounts, categorize your transactions, and even send you alerts when you're nearing your budget limits.
Wow, that sounds super helpful. What about investing? Are there any tech tools for that?
Absolutely. Robo-advisors like Betterment or Acorns are a great way to get started.
Yep.
They use algorithms to build and manage a diversified portfolio for you
Okay.
based on your goals and your risk tolerance.
I remember we talked about robo-advisors earlier.
Yeah.
But I'm still not quite clear on how they work.
Okay.
It sounds almost too good to be true.
Right.
Like having a personal financial advisor at a fraction of the cost.
It's pretty cool. So think of it like this.
Okay.
You answer a series of questions about your financial goals, your time frame, and your comfort level with risk.
Yeah.
And based on your answers, the robo-advisor creates a portfolio of investments
Okay.
designed to help you reach those goals.
So you don't need to be a stock market expert to use them?
Not at all.
No.
That's the beauty of robo-advisors. They make investing accessible to everyone,
Awesome.
and they typically charge lower fees than traditional financial advisors.
That's reassuring, especially for someone starting fresh.
Exactly. And remember, there are tons of free online resources available too.
Oh, like what?
Financial literacy websites, blogs, podcasts.
Okay.
The key is to be proactive and seek out information that empowers you.
Okay, so we've talked about budgeting, saving, investing, tackling debt,
Mm.
building a support network, practicing self-care,
Right.
leveraging technology. Is there anything else we need to cover?
Well, we've covered a lot of ground,
We have.
but there are a couple things that are especially relevant after a divorce.
Oh, like what?
Managing shared finances and teaching your kids about money.
Ah, those are big ones.
They are. When it comes to shared finances, clear communication and boundaries are essential.
So if you're still sharing financial responsibilities with your ex-spouse,
Yeah.
like joint accounts or debts, it's important to establish clear agreements.
Exactly. And don't hesitate to seek legal advice
Okay.
to ensure that any financial agreements are fair and legally binding.
That's a crucial point.
Yeah. It's about protecting your financial interests and avoiding potential conflicts down the road.
And what about teaching kids about money?
Well, it's one of those valuable gifts you can give them
Really?
by instilling good financial habits early on.
Yeah.
You're setting them up for success later in life.
That makes sense, but how do you even start? Kids aren't exactly known for their patience when it comes to financial lectures.
You're right. It's about making it fun and engaging.
Okay.
Start with age-appropriate conversations about money.
Okay.
Involve them in simple financial decisions.
Yeah.
Give them allowances.
Mhm.
Encourage them to save for something they want.
Okay.
You can even play games that teach financial concepts.
So it's about integrating financial literacy into their everyday lives,
Exactly.
rather than making it a separate, boring subject.
Right. And don't be afraid to talk to them about your own financial journey, your values, your
Yeah.
goals, your challenges.
It's about modeling responsible financial behavior, showing them that money isn't this taboo topic.
Precisely. And remember, it's a process. Just like we're learning and evolving our financial habits, so will they.
This whole conversation has been so eye-opening.
Good.
We've covered so much, from the nitty-gritty of budgeting
Yeah.
to the emotional aspects of money and even the power of technology.
And don't forget about the importance of mindset.
Oh, right. We touched on that earlier, but it's worth emphasizing.
Absolutely, because your beliefs and attitudes about money
Yeah.
can have a huge impact on your financial success.
So how do we cultivate a more positive and empowering money mindset?
What starts with awareness.
Yeah.
Pay attention to your thoughts and beliefs about money.
Okay.
Are they positive and abundant, or are they negative and scarcity-minded?
It's about becoming aware of those limiting beliefs that might be holding us back.
Exactly. And once you've identified those limiting beliefs, challenge them.
Okay.
Ask yourself if they're truly serving you, or if they're just outdated stories you've been carrying around.
It's like rewriting those negative scripts
Yeah.
and replacing them with positive affirmations and beliefs that support our financial goals.
And don't be afraid to seek inspiration from others who have achieved financial success.
Oh, okay.
Read books, listen to podcasts, surround yourself with people who have a healthy and abundant relationship with money.
It's about shifting our perspective and embracing the possibility of financial freedom and abundance.
Exactly. Remember, managing finances after a major life change is a journey,
Yeah.
not a destination.
Uh-huh.
It's about taking it one step at a time, celebrating small victories, and learning from any setbacks along the way.
And most importantly, it's about believing in yourself and your ability to create a brighter financial future.
Exactly. We've covered a lot in this deep dive,
We have.
but I have a feeling there's even more to explore.
I think so too.
What else does this guide highlight?
You know, it's interesting. We've been talking about finances, budgets and investing and all that. But this guide really emphasizes that it's not just about money. It's about taking control of your life, building a sense of security,
Yeah.
and creating a future that you can be excited about.
You hit the nail on the head. It's like this guide is saying, hey, you've been through a lot, but you're stronger than you think. You got this.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Okay, so where do we go from here? We've talked about so many practical steps.
Right.
But I'm wondering about the bigger picture, you know?
One thing this guide touches on is the importance of thinking about your career.
Your career.
Yeah, I know it might seem unrelated,
Yeah.
but your career is often your primary source of income.
Yeah.
So nurturing is really crucial for your financial well-being.
Okay, that makes sense. But after a divorce or a loss, it's easy to feel stuck in a rut, both personally and professionally.
It's true. But this could also be an opportunity for a fresh start.
Oh.
Maybe there's a skill you've always wanted to learn, a course you've been putting off, or even a completely different career path that's calling your name.
I love that idea. Instead of feeling trapped, you can view this as a chance to reinvent yourself
Exactly.
and explore new possibilities.
And think about what brings you joy, what you're passionate about, and how you can align your career with those things.
Yeah.
It might involve taking some risks, stepping outside your comfort zone, but the rewards could be immense, both financially and personally.
This whole conversation has been so empowering.
I'm glad to hear that.
It's like we've taken a journey from feeling overwhelmed and uncertain
Yeah.
to feeling more confident and in control.
That's exactly what we hope for. And remember, you don't have to have all the answers right now.
Right.
It's a process, a journey.
And it's okay to ask for help along the way.
Of course.
This guide reminds us that there are financial advisors, support groups, and tons of online resources available to provide guidance and support.
Don't underestimate the power of community and connection.
Yeah.
Reach out to trusted friends, family members, mentors, anyone who can offer encouragement and a listening ear.
It's like building a team of cheerleaders to support you on your financial journey.
Exactly. And remember, every step you take toward financial stability, no matter how small, is a victory worth celebrating.
So true. It's about acknowledging those wins and giving yourself credit for all the effort you're putting in.
Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a final thought. Imagine yourself a year from now, feeling confident and in control of your finances.
Okay.
What steps can you take today to make that vision a reality?
That's such a powerful question. It's about taking all the knowledge we've gained today and turning it into action.
Remember, you have the strength and resilience within you to navigate this new chapter and create a secure and fulfilling financial future for yourself.
We believe in you, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It was a pleasure.
We hope you feel empowered to take charge of your finances and